I'll go ahead and post it again. I think
Thank
that
you.
requires me to unshare, unfortunately, but um
I think I do have that already though. You don't have to share it just for my benefit.
oh, well, I found it. So I just posted it again. So feel free to join us there. Just it's like the doc with all the, information about what this committee needs to deliver, and also a bunch of resources that I hope will help folks as they work on budget requests or narratives, just like resources that might be helpful. Debbie, are we live? Shall I?
Yes, we are.
Oh, fantastic. Great, thank you. Welcome to the budget committee meeting. Hey, Anatole, I saw your hand was raised.
Yeah, I was just reminding everyone that we are live, so be on your best behavior.
I don't know. Thank you for
And
that.
I'll add to that, no political talk, no, no personal conversation. Um, these are official meetings, so we have to be very professional all the time.
Understood. Thank you for those reminders. Um, yeah, welcome to the second meeting of the Budget Committee. You can see here's the agenda in the doc that I linked out in the chat, our sort of working doc. The first thing I wanted to do is just follow up on some of the action items from last week, which were about the narrative that we submit. So, as part of this process, we submit both a narrative of our needs as well as a prioritized budget request list, as you know. And last week we kind of went through the narrative doc and talked through who might be able to take the lead on certain sections. And there's just some follow-ups, and I just wanted to check with folks on whether different areas have whether the folks whose names were floated basically um, have agreed to take a part in those, or if they're busy. So the first one was here around needs for older New Yorkers and then also needs for homeless. Andrea Thomas, who's a public member who works for Sunnyside Community Services, is kind of an obvious fit. And I know her name was mentioned. I'm curious if anyone on the call, I don't see Lauren on the call. Oh, I do. Hi, Lauren. Were you able to reach out to Andrea and see if she's interested in helping us draft the needs for older New Yorkers section?
And I still have to reach out to the people that were assigned, so I can do that this week. I didn't
Okay,
get to do that. Okay.
great. And then for youth and youth education, youth and child welfare, Leticia's name was floated. I reached out to her and she agreed to draft, so that's good. Danielle is assigned to these sections and Carlos to these. I reached out to Christine and Pramit, who both agreed to help with the land use, housing, and economic development. And Pramit actually already drafted something that he shared with Christine and I. And so we're well on our way to having that section done because Pramit has done a lot of the work already. And then yeah, Pramit included economic development in here. So Maury said he didn't have the bandwidth, but it's covered. Um, Corey agreed to help with transportation. I see Roz is also here, and Riley, you're also here. And I think Riley, can I kind of count on you to sort out the particulars of between Corey, you, and Roz, who will handle transportation?
Yes, of course.
Cool. Thanks. And then parks, that should also be Carlos, right? As parks and recreation.
Mhm.
And then I reached out to Carissa, and she agreed to write.
Here.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I was just gonna say, but you can say it if you want that. You'll
Yeah, I'll do arts and culture, but it doesn't seem to have its own category. It seems to fall under parks, culture, and other community facilities. So should we have a separate arts and culture, like a number 8 as arts and culture, or
Oh, so there's like a subsection under parks, cultural, and other community that's called needs for cultural services. And I was thinking arts, like this can um
Okay, I'm sorry because I wasn't there at the first
All
meeting.
good.
Is this the structure that is already prescribed? Like we have to
Yeah,
do this structure?
unfortunately.
Okay,
So like the high level with the 7 sections, that's like fully from the city.
got
We
it.
can't add more or less. I mean, we could like not fill one out, but that would be kind of silly. Um,
Yeah.
and then the,
Okay, so I can talk, okay, so I can go under arts, I can go under cultural services. And is
yeah,
that specific, like cultural services? Like that's
uh,
specific verbiage that they use?
that is the verbiage, as I understand it, that is in the
Okay.
yeah, that's in the submission. I can check one thing though, which is what sorts of budget requests they put under cultural services.
Michael, can
Yeah.
I just interrupt you? I understand there's an Excel spreadsheet with different categories. I'm going to send that to you next week.
Oh, great.
We're getting that and a little bit of training for us
Cool.
on some of the nuances of the system when we enter this.
Yeah.
So I will send you that spreadsheet when I have it
Great.
and share it with you, and then you can figure out how you want to handle it.
That sounds perfect. Thank you, Debbie. I really appreciate
Very
that.
well.
It looks like under the cultural services need, they
Mm-hmm.
include things like provide for public art, support nonprofit cultural orgs. I mean, cultural facility is quite a vague phrase, but certainly I think art and arts organizations is squarely within the cultural facilities section.
Do you mind, let me just check here. Do you mind dropping the link to this PDF that you're referencing?
Yeah, it's the one. So do you have this doc open? Queen
I do.
CB2?
Yep. Yeah, I have it
Cool. So
down.
it's the one called Budget Requests Reference Guide from DCP.
Oh, cool. Okay, got it. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, this is like the coolest within the context of this particular process. The coolest doc, because it has the like all the different needs listed out, and then it has all these like the budget request categories listed out, and then capital versus expense and so on. So it's like makes this really concrete. Um,
Is there new guidance on what they are looking for in narrative, or like in previous budget years, are we just kind of forming a statement?
I don't think we've heard anything net new. I mean, I think that there are a lot of resources. I probably have some of these linked out somewhere. Um, of like how to draft budget requests and describe narratives. Like it's pretty open-ended, but it's
Okay.
like, does the narrative answer the question?
Yeah.
Like it's not exactly like super prescriptive, but
Okay. Realistically, is it okay within the timeline that I get the draft by next week to
oh
you?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, ultimately, we submit in I think we vote at our first meeting in November. I would love to get this stuff sorted out because we also do the budget request list and so on
Yeah.
within like the month of September, but next week is totally uh like good. Works great.
But you said I wasn't, so you're saying September, so when is the actual deadline that we should be getting this to you though?
The narrative,
Yeah,
I mean we can say mid-September, like I can write down a date
Okay.
if it helps, but I think
It's also been sort of informative that after we all review the budget requests, sometimes we circle back around and sort of condense it into narrative.
yeah, I mean I think there will be some iteration for sure. But I think it's good to make some progress on this. And also I think just to reflect on needs before we start drafting budget requests too. So
I would just like to be able to talk to the city services committee before draft a narrative, and that
okay,
meeting would be until maybe September 10th, but now I think it's moving, so.
okay. Yeah, I mean I certainly think for all of these we should chat with our committees about the drafting. So I don't think any of this should be finished like Nest is like, fully permanently finished um until we meet with the committees meet. But I think, yeah, just to have owners at this stage and just to have September in mind as when we'd like to have drafts done and then review those with committees, I think works well for me.
Okay, then I might maybe go more along that timeline then.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Also with like the budget requests, we like there's going to be like history of budget requests, and
Huh?
it'll be good for us to like review which ones we are reordering and then which ones have been already addressed.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Definitely. I did so in the main doc, I did link out, or like I organized from last year's requests the list that agencies have asked us to resubmit, like
Oh,
where
cool.
their
Okay, great.
response was resubmit. And there's like quite a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
There are a few where they say resubmit but to a different agency. So I had highlighted those in yellow. Like this one is about trash cans at parks, and apparently it's not a sanitation issue, it's a park issue. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
But um yeah,
cool. Thank you. This is really helpful resource. Okay.
for sure. Cool. Okay. Uh, I think that's like helpful conversation on the narrative piece. Next week, and kind of segueing to the next topic, um, we can kind of go over the survey results. I mean, the survey will stay open until the following Sunday, but I think just given like the meeting calendar and so on, it probably makes sense to just go over the results, and then I'll write something up after the survey formally closes that we can like I can ask Debbie to circulate to the full committee. And the survey responses will help us inform these topics, right? The like most important issues within each policy area, and then the top three issues, which are like the survey questions map directly to these parts of the narrative. So that'll be for next time and the subsequent. Um, yeah. So that's it for the action items. I think, yeah, we have owners for almost all of the sections, and it would be and we're getting close. So thank you for your help on that. The next thing to chat through, I can't really see like hands or anything. So does anyone have any questions on anything so far related to narrative and so on? Cool. So the next thing I wanted to just chat through and ask for help on is the survey outreach stuff. I mean, we're doing really well, and I'm super happy with like the survey responses in general. I saw because Brad, who's on the committee, sent me a screenshot, not on the committee, who's on the community board, that Woodside on the Move had posted the survey on their Instagram account, which is really cool. But yeah, we have 277 responses as of like 15 minutes ago. So that's really exciting and quite a bit more than we've gotten historically. So very excited to see that participation. But as far as like, are all parts of our community being represented? I mean, obviously with this kind of survey, you can only expect so much, but I do think just like at a neighborhood level, and probably a good way to think about it when we do interpret the results. Well, let's not get there. I'll just say, it looks like LIC is relatively underrepresented if you think about its share of the population. I mean, Sunnyside, which is probably, I mean, I haven't like looked recently, but I would guess is about a third of our community boards, 120 plus thousand people, is like more than half of the responses. I assume that these two, like people who put Sunnyside and Sunnyside Gardens are probably the same people, so I wouldn't sum these, but um, yeah. Whereas LIC, which is also, I would guess, around a third, it's probably closer to like 15%. And so to the extent that, we know folks in LIC or there are untapped groups in LIC we can reach out to, I think that's like the area of greatest underrepresentation where it might, make sense to focus any additional outreach. So
I
my
can do some outreach. I didn't do it this past weekend mostly because I am getting trolled on Facebook, but
oh darn.
I will, yeah, yeah. But I will just ignore it and go on and just reach out to those, like they're mostly parent groups, but there's some other groups I'm in LIC.
Amazing.
So,
Really
but I don't
appreciate
think that, I don't know how much they're probably the people that have already responded, but
that. Yeah, yeah.
We
Um,
definitely need more Blissville outreach.
yeah,
I mean, I can message Tom, but
yeah, Blissville Civic, I recall took it. I wonder if I suppose that's probably the sole entity that took it in that case. But yeah, please do reach out to Tom, and I'm sure Tom has a network.
I
Um,
honestly think there also might be a benefit for maybe there can be like a physical like flyer that at least has a QR code for folks because there's a lot of folks in Blissville that may not be very in general, but I'm saying like if this is what's showing up, then maybe there is a lack of access to, filling out stuff online or knowing how to do that. I know that there's definitely folks that are still that, QR codes are also can be a hurdle. But maybe if there is someone, I don't know. Is there a paper version of this? And I know that's a lot more work, but if we're trying to just get more
yeah. I mean,
respondents.
I have made a flyer. At one point back in, several months ago, I was talking to somebody about getting it in the libraries, but it didn't really come to fruition, unfortunately.
I like
Carisha, do you
people
have
to
a dance? Is the dance festival have anything in LIC in the next week or two?
we
Sorry.
just were there.
Yeah, that's what I had the feeling.
I had asked if anyone was able to table at our events last week, but I didn't get a
Okay.
response. So
I couldn't last week, but yeah.
We
Hmm.
do have in Blissville, we have one of our new community board members is from Blissville. Maybe we ought to reach out to her and have her, give her a little bit of an assignment and engage her a bit.
it's a great idea.
Yeah, do you know the name, Ross?
I'm blocking, but
If you can let me know or reach out to her
oh,
directly.
Debbie should be able to help us with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Blissville, um, when I looked at the community board members website, it usually just uses the LIC
Right.
Well,
category.
Warren Davis is also part of the Blissville Civic, so.
Yep,
Okay.
and yes.
Would anyone be able? Oh,
Do you think, tell me if this isn't allowed. Can I ask Kristen Gonzalez or Julie if they are having some event, if we could have a flyer at their table or like I could go and like hand it out?
I mean, that sounds great to me, if you're
I don't,
asking.
is that okay to do?
I can't see why not. That's outreach to get people to
Yeah, they may
participate.
not be doing anything, or Kristen may be doing it in another borough, but
Right. Yeah, if it's in Greenpoint or something, maybe less. But yeah, if it's in our community district, I think that's a phenomenal idea, Danielle, if you want to take the lead on that.
see.
And it's
Yeah, I
also
think sorry, I was just gonna say, I mean, yeah, asking the electeds is fair game, totally fair game. I think council member one was involved in some case, in some way. But I mean, yeah, Danielle, please feel free to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have better luck with probably Kristen anday, so.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. And then
Um,
what about Senator Janaris?
And I
I
can
mean, for the
ask,
parts of
not
the.
in that part of the district, but I can ask Sam if you'd like.
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Let's
that's awesome.
let's go far and wide.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's not in town right now, but yeah, maybe the team is doing something.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I yeah, agree. As in our remaining sort of days with the survey open, it'd be great to get more participation from everyone, but particularly from LIC and Blissville, which appear to be pretty underrepresented. But
Then
I don't
someone
know.
will make a flyer. I just want to make sure
Oh,
before
I have a flyer if you want to.
flyer. Okay,
I can send you a PDF. Yeah.
that's
Um,
yeah, that's great.
Anatole had also dropped in the chat like we could potentially have like a happy hour event at Bandry Bay to reach more of Blissville folks. And then Eric also asked if St. Raphael Church received a flyer that could also help.
I certainly know that the church did not, unless someone sent it to them. Would anyone want to?
Yeah, if you send me the flyer, I can send it to some of the
Fantastic.
kids that I know that belong to that church.
That'd be great. And yeah, I don't
Does the
really.
flyer have a QR? Like, does the
It
flyer
does.
have a website?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. Okay, great.
yeah, it has a QR code. Sorry, let me just kind of organize some thoughts and action items here. So, Michael to send Danielle, and here's a flyer PDF.
Is it easy for
Copy
you?
of the flyer should come to the office so we can
Okay.
post it to the website as well.
Great. Fantastic. What other, anyone else have any, like, I mean, just kind of writing down what I heard Danielle to post and how I see groups and see if there are opportunities.
I can reach out to Kristen, Mike, Claire, and Julie, but I don't. Oh, and I can actually reach out to Zoran as well, but I don't have a real. I don't know anybody in. Oh, I guess we could ask
I mean, unless any of them are doing
the
anything.
person in Raga's office.
John.
Yeah, John.
But unless they're doing something in Blissville in the next like week, it's not really.
I think it's just for the whole area.
Okay.
Yeah, both. I mean, everyone, but I think particularly Blissful and OIC. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Any other? And I'm sorry if I'm not like fully engaging with everyone's thoughts because I can't see the chat right now. So, are there any other things that
What about Maspeth, since that's also lowly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, only a small portion of Maspeth is in our board. I don't have a good sense. Like, does anyone know if any of our members, like of the community board, live in
Patrick.
Patrick? Oh, Patrick
here.
Martinez?
live in Maspeth.
Yeah,
We're
Patrick,
live
you just
on
go
record.
around.
I do not live in Maspeth.
You
Oh.
don't? Sorry. I was just under the. I've only seen you there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. We have no members, including new members that live in Maspeth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's like most of Maspeth I don't think is in our district. It's always described as a small portion.
Yeah, and the portion that is in our district, it is the sliver, and it really is a sliver. Is yes, I was going to say myself and Brad, who he lives a few blocks away. He also is not in Maspeth, but close enough. It's really a couple of residential blocks and some warehouses.
And
Yeah.
probably a lot of liquor license.
I'm sorry, Danielle.
Probably a lot of liquor license requests, but yeah.
Huh.
Not from what I'm seeing, but
I think it's like catering, but yeah.
Cool.
yeah.
The RBZ
Sure.
over there is in CB2 as well.
Yeah, that's why.
Yes, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, the warehouses and stuff.
The IBZ. But I mean, I don't know. I'm close enough and Brad's close enough that I'd frankly like I could just do like a walk or two after work and assess needs as necessary. I wasn't supposed to be a joke. That like it's that much of a sliver and it's that close to me. Not to be out of hand.
You can like
Awesome.
go around and like actually tell us like what are the warehouses and what are their businesses and stuff.
That's 1,000%. I mean, that's how I did that empty tree plot survey like year after year. So which included the Maspeth side of things. So yes.
Great.
So the note was Patrick to cover Maspeth.
That's way more feasible than looking for somebody in Maspeth.
I do recall one public comment several meetings ago from folks in Maspeth where they were talking about flooding, which I don't think is specific to that area. Like many parts of our district deal with that. But yeah, that does come to mind.
My basement floods. It's my corner of the district. Yeah, it's my.
Yeah, I would guess. Yeah, the flooding probably doesn't discriminate between Maspeth and Maspeth adjacent Woodside. Cool. Well, awesome. At a high level, like great job. I mean, this is obviously we can always do better and we're learning and iterating for next time, but I'm really pleased with how much progress we've made on the outreach and just like the amount of participation we've gotten. Cool. Anything else on survey? All right, I'm taking that as nothing further because I can't see your faces. Okay. Um, so couple more things I wanted to get through tonight. And one of these is more of like socializing and gut checking. That's how I've described number three. But if you have any constructive, like, if you have feedback you think is terrible or can be better, obviously would love to hear that. It's just like a framework for being kind of transparent about how we prioritize budget requests and also minimize the amount of time where we have to like like debate as a budget committee each request. So I put together like a scorecard rubric with like types of five things that we can evaluate each request on. So the first is like whether it's a committee's priority, with the idea being if it's a committee's top choice, it gets like a higher score than if it's not a committee's top choice. And then two of the other score elements being like from the survey, basically, like does it align with the top three issue in the survey? And does it align with with the top policy area within each of the 7 policy areas in the survey? So that's B and C. And then D is like community endorsement. So community group endorsement is really what this means. So basically, community groups can write supporting letters for budget requests. And there's a screenshot in one of the linked documents. It's called like tips for submitting budget requests if you want to see what it looks like. But as part of submitting the stuff, we can upload a PDF or like a document of a letter of support from a community group where they're saying we support this budget request. And so I think that's like a really, I think that elevates a budget request if we can get a community group to support it. So I've included that. And then the resubmit thing, also, like if we submitted the request and the agency said you should resubmit this, then maybe it should be higher priority. So that's this. I think there are going to be some ties, and so we'll still have to like meet and deliberate, but I hope that this at least gives us like a first cut and allows us to focus our conversation on ties and separates the like really obvious top priorities from the like important but not top priority requests. So that's
Sorry, is this asking us to like sort of use this scoring rubric like on our own time? Like we're all
no,
okay.
I'm not asking y'all to do anything on this. This is just like um basically, so as the committees come up with budget requests, this is going to be like the first pass way to assign, like, how do we evaluate the arts and cultures requests against the land use requests? Like, um, just a way for the budget committee to do a first pass at prioritizing those.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll say on the community groups thing, while we're on it, I mean, Woodside on the Move has obviously engaged, like they posted the survey on Instagram, and in the past has written support letters. Also, I know Sunnyside Bid has, they took the survey and are obviously really engaged. Sunnyside Community Services took the survey, and we have a member from there, and the LIC bid as well. I'm sure there are many other community groups that took the survey, but those ones come to mind. So it's like, I don't think it would at all be like, if you have a budget request as a committee that relates to the purview of one of those organizations, I think it would be really great to ask if they, have ideas for budget requests and if they want to submit a letter of support. But that's really it as far as this one. Unless, anyone has any comments or questions. This is just something I'm going to use to try to help us organize the prioritizing of our, dozens of requests. Cool. And then the last thing that I wanted to chat through is about how committee chairs can submit budget requests to the budget committee. So I hope, I genuinely hope that this is like a simple and streamlined process. So I put together a form where I like included the information that we need in our submission. So like if you look kind of here at what this sort of thing looks like, oops, we submit a request which comes from a list provided by DCP, an explanation which we write, then a responsible agency, an optional like location and supporting letter and so on. And so basically I put together a form that kind of tracks like that format and then included the resource. And I can update this once I get the more recent version from Debbie, but this is like the document that has the categories provided by the city. Um, so, agency, and budget request category, and then this is the explanation people write, and then the stuff like, is it the committee's top choice? And then I have to update this when we actually know, but like what issue or issue area it applies to, and then is this a request that an agency asked us to resubmit? And then if you have any other info, like community groups, supporting letter type stuff or location to like write that here. And that way, um, we can kind of do this in a really streamlined way where it's really clear what a committee's top or second or third top choice is, and then the other information. But I think, this will kind of standardize and make, get all the requests in a streamlined way, and just the form will populate a spreadsheet, and that way, we have it all in one place. So I'm curious what folks think, and I'm gonna stop sharing so that I can actually see you. Um, but yeah, is this like palatable? Um, do you think that this is something you're open to, Danielle?
So that would mean that if I go meet, well, we meet city services, if we come up with, I can't imagine we're going to have more than two, but whatever, we come up with some ideas, I would just enter it into that form instead of having
100%.
to come here and talk about it. Okay, cool.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think the occasion where we would need to still talk about stuff is if there are ties, which I suspect there will be some ties, but that will narrow the scope. So we don't have to talk about 50 things. We might only need to talk about like 6 or 7. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That works for me.
Great. Riley?
So the previous budget request, how much does that factor into what we're writing now? Because the process last year was to look at the requests from the previous year and rank them again. Are we just coming up with new ones or
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to resubmit a historic request. Like I did organize all the requests that agencies have asked us to resubmit. So that's linked out from the working document. So you should have that. It's called lists of requests that agencies asked us to resubmit. So you can certainly start there. There are also a number of requests that from our last submission where agencies asked us not to resubmit, and I don't particularly think it makes sense to resubmit if an agency asks us not to resubmit unless you have a lot of conviction in the request, but that's sort of at your discretion. But yeah, I do think like the list of requests that agencies asked us to resubmit, we really should.
okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it seems to be like a historical record from the community board that goes well before I arrived. So if
yeah,
like there's flooding issues within the district that I don't know anything about, but we have a longstanding request to fix them, and I don't want to just eliminate those. But I also don't know how important they are. My problem on the transportation committee is I need a lot of community input to see what people actually want, and we don't really get a lot, except
yeah,
for like some certain issues.
yeah. I mean, we did get like, almost 300 responses from the survey that includes a transportation section. So I think that's a helpful place to start. And
Yeah, and
then
have you shared that yet, or
no, because it's still open.
it's
So
still open? Yeah.
um, but we will have that imminently, you know, by the end of the month. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I certainly don't think you should not submit something because it's been submitted in the past. But yeah, it's at committee chair's discretion, right? What they submit. And my only sort of point of view on this is that if we were asked to resubmit something, then we'll rank it like marginally higher than if um
Can
if
I
we
just weigh in a moment? Some things get funded right away because they're, I want to, for lack of a better term, they're sexier, like parks and refurbication of parks and things like that. And other things take longer. For example, DEP, sewers, unfortunately, the flooding, because some falls in a category of emergency dollars, and the mayor and all of the funding streams that come into the city of New York, they don't want to use it. They use it for other things. And it's important to build sewers and fix flooding. And so they fall into various different categories within the city. So sometimes they pick it up and sometimes it sits on our list forever. But for example, up by Hicks Drive in that area, where there's some flooding that's been on there for a long time. They were supposed to build some storm doors and do things like that, and that idea kind of changed. So just to give you a little background of why things stay on there and
Mhm.
why things come off as they're done and funded.
Yeah, I just want to honor any requests that haven't been fulfilled, but also it is a very long list.
Yeah, our list does exceed what the recommendations are by quite a bit historically. Not that we necessarily like, and I do think, you know, sometimes requests do get funded. We probably don't need to ask for them again. Sometimes the feedback is like, this is the wrong agency, or, you know, so there are reasons maybe not to resubmit all of them, but certainly the like 20 something that are in our we were asked to resubmit, we should. And if you want to see the historic requests, I mean, there are various ways you can find them, but I have the um last year's submission linked here. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen anymore. But under resources for budget process in the main doc, there's fiscal year 2026 statement of needs submission. And so you can see all of last year's requests there as well. Um, if you need if you need to.
Sure,
And
yeah.
they're all in
Thank you.
the executive register and the adopted budget register,
Yeah, they're also in the
and
register.
it's all under Department of City Planning. And we send it out in June for everybody to take a look at and rework, revamp, and
Mhm.
change any way you guys want to.
Did they give us a reason why we shouldn't resubmit? Because just
Mhm.
because they say not to resubmit doesn't mean it's not a need.
Sometimes it's just the wrong agency.
Yeah, I have I can share, I mean, I've done some like I just need to find it. Um some looking. I can share my screen real quick if you want to have a look. Um all right. I'm sharing again. So I've looked at like all of last year's and by priority. And a lot of times, it says contact the agency. Okay, so we get we we get multiple responses from the city at different points in the budget process. So the same request will get, like you can see here, this code and this code are the same. Um, gets responded to more than once, and it often gets responded to first by the agency and then second by OMB. So that's why like the same row appears twice. But usually it just says stuff like agency does not support and cannot accommodate. That's more often than not what it says. Um, agency does not support and cannot accommodate, or agency has stated they will try to accommodate, um, or yeah.
But so for the ones that say that agency cannot accommodate or cannot support, I mean, I mean, some of those might be not valid, but some of them might still be valid
Oh yeah, yeah,
need.
yeah. Totally. No, no, no. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just saying it's up to you guys what you submit, and your priority is like the committee's internal prioritization is like the one of the bigger inputs into the score. Like there's no I'm just, yeah.
So then that comes to my next question. Like I'm city services and it's in public safety. It's basically going to be about police,
Yeah.
maybe some other things, but I also live in Long Island City where we flood when there's like one drop of rain. So some of those I know we need.
Mhm.
Like can I go in even though it's not really under city services purview and put what I think we still need to fix?
Yeah, that's great. I think the way I would recommend that is reaching out to the committee chair who
Okay.
purview includes that. Um, yeah. I can't imagine we don't have something related to flooding, candidly.
I mean, that was my example, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, for
last
sure,
year
for
it would
sure.
have been the library in Court Square, but now that's resolved. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's yeah, totally valid. Um Anyway, yeah, I'm realizing now I'm sharing my screen to show you this is the full list, which I can add as well. I had pulled out the resubmit ones because that seemed like low-hanging fruit of sorts. In general, right, they're not super informative, to be honest with you. They just say agency does not support. Often they say please contact the agency directly. It's like, I don't know. So that could be its own thing we might want to talk about. But yeah, I can just go ahead. Well, I don't know. This is like a lot of scratch work and me having a good time, but maybe I'll just pull out this sheet and I'll add it to the main doc so you guys have it. Oh yeah, and here you can see who responded, right? So like sometimes it's the agency itself and then sometimes it's OMB. Okay.
Maybe for some of these sort of rejections that we get back that we consider a priority, we can make a point to reach out to those agencies for direct
Yeah.
feedback, because often what we've done in the past, to Anatol's point in the chat, if we reword something, especially when we figure out the correct agency, it sort of refreshes our argument while still sending the message that this is still a priority need in our district, even though it has not been addressed by an agency for years. We still want to let them know, like, hey,
Yeah. Totally.
And when it says OMB office, that means Office Management and Budget. They didn't get a response either from the agency, so they just put in their own 2 cents.
No.
Cool. I mean, I've covered all the things that I wanted to cover in the agenda. Let me see. We have some action items relative to the survey stuff and some action items relative to like the narrative and just getting ownership for some of the remaining sections. And yeah, Patrick is going to cover Maspeth. Anything else anyone wants to chat about tonight?
Danielle, I can work with you on libraries. I saw that your name was assigned to libraries,
Yeah.
but we can work on
So
it
I
together.
will tell you what I need help with is anything outside of Long Island City.
Okay.
And I also don't think this is the year for Long Island City since we've got considerable
I know.
investment last
Yeah.
year or this year for what
Right.
you were in. So, but
Yeah.
that's where I'm going to definitely need some help. Although I can also make those calls if I need to.
Cool.
Thank you, Patrick. Maspeth Library, not in CB2.
Good to know. Awesome. Well, yeah, I'll follow up on the action items for me, and then next week, yeah, we'll go through the survey results. I will have to, because the survey will still be open for a couple more days after we meet. I'll like update. I'm gonna write something as well and then update it once we have the final numbers and ask Debbie to send it out. But this is the last meeting but the last meeting until next week. That shouldn't have said that. And then after next week, as far as the budget process goes, I'd really love for y'all to just include it in your committee meetings. And then we start meeting again in October when we have the budget requests and we can talk about any ties and other loose ends, just to give you a highlight of like the timeline. Cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great.
Thank you so much for all of your leadership and information gathering on this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Everyone, good to see you.